Is there a creature lurking in the dense woods of Arkansas, its legend whispered from one generation to the next? Have you heard the eerie tales of moss-wrapped entities rising from a Colorado bog, their presence a chilling enigma? Or perhaps the stories of a glowing beast in Lyswood's forests, its luminescence a trap for the unwary? Welcome to Two Tricks, One Treat, where we journey into the most haunting tales from forgotten folklore, historical accounts, and sometimes the shadowy corners of our imagination. Here's the twist. Among these tales of creatures in the woods, only one is rooted in truth. The others are woven from the threads of myth. Can you unravel the real narrative from the fabrications? If tales of the unexplained, the eerie, and the mysterious captivate you, you're in the right place. We unveil a new mystery every day, so if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and join us on this exploration of the unknown. Now, let's begin. Story 1. The Boggy Creek Monster. In the rural town of Fouke, Arkansas, a legend has haunted the community for decades, the legend of the Boggy Creek Monster, also known as the Fouke Monster. Although the creature has been part of local folklore since the early 20th century, the story burst into the national consciousness in 1971, forever solidifying its place in cryptid history. That fateful year, the Ford family was enjoying an ordinary evening in their home. As darkness fell, they started hearing strange noises emanating from the woods surrounding their property, noises unlike any they'd heard before. Uneasy but attributing it to wildlife, they tried to go about their evening. As the night wore on, the noises grew louder and closer. Suddenly there was a crash, the sound of something heavy hitting the side of their house. Rushing to the window, they saw what they could only describe as a monstrous figure, tall, covered in thick matted fur, and with glowing eyes that reflected the dim light from the house. Terrified, Mr. Ford took his shotgun and went outside, hoping to scare the creature away. Stepping onto the porch, he fired a warning shot into the air. But rather than retreat, the creature let out an ear-piercing shriek that echoed through the woods, causing the family inside to cover their ears in horror. Then, just as quickly as it had appeared, the creature vanished into the night. Another well-known event happened in the winter of 1982. A local hunter named Jack Daniels set out into the Boggy Creek woods, armed with his rifle and accompanied by his faithful hunting dog, Rex. He had heard stories about the Boggy Creek Monster as a child, but dismissed them as mere tales told to scare youngsters. Jack had hunted these woods for decades and believed he knew every inch and every creature that called it home. As the day wore on, Jack and Rex ventured deeper into the woods, tracking deer. But as the evening approached, Jack felt an unease that he hadn't felt before. The woods were unusually quiet. No birds chirping, no rustle of small animals. Even Rex seemed agitated, constantly growling and sniffing the air. As the sun began to set, Jack decided it was time to head back. But as he made his way through the trees, he heard an unfamiliar, heavy breathing sound. Trying to locate the source, he spun around and was met with a sight that left him frozen in terror. Standing about 30 feet away was a massive creature covered in long, matted hair. It stood on two legs, its eyes locked onto Jack with an intense, unblinking stare. The creature towered over him, easily over 7 feet tall, its muscular build evident even beneath the thick fur. Rex barked furiously, snapping Jack back to reality. He raised his rifle, aiming it at the creature, but before he could fire, the monster let out a deafening roar, a sound that echoed throughout the forest. Instead of attacking, however, the creature turned and disappeared into the thick brush, leaving a trail of broken branches in its wake. Shaken, Jack and Rex hurried back to their truck, not daring to look back. When he recounted his encounter to friends and family, reactions were mixed. Some believed he had come face to face with the legendary Boggy Creek Monster, while others speculated he had encountered a bear or some other wild animal. Each time the sightings were reported to local authorities, they were not met with skepticism but with nods of reluctant acknowledgement. The Fouke Monster was becoming a frequent sighting, and the town was on edge. Local authorities organized many searches, combing through the woods and nearby Boggy Creek, but found no definitive evidence. However, they did discover footprints, unusually large and humanoid, that matched descriptions from previous sightings. Over the years, sightings have waned but never completely ceased. What was once dismissed as mere folklore now carries the weight of personal testimonies. The Fouke monster remains an enigma, a piece of local history that has transcended into a cultural phenomenon, compelling both believers and skeptics to venture into the dark, wooded landscapes, seeking answers. Whether the Fouke monster exists or not is a question that may never be definitively answered. But one thing is certain: the tale is deeply ingrained in the psyche of the community and serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes legends have a way of coming uncomfortably close to reality. Story 2. The Marrow Bog. In the picturesque valleys of Colorado, the Marrow Dam was constructed in the early 1970s to meet the growing water demands of nearby towns. The dam, a marvel of modern engineering, stood tall against the backdrop of the Rocky Mountains. However, before its construction, locals often whispered about an ancient burial ground that lay in one of the valleys. Despite the rumors and protests from a few townspeople, the project moved forward. In the spring of '73, after an unusually heavy snowmelt, the dam's reservoir reached its capacity quicker than anticipated. To prevent a catastrophic failure, the dam operators had to release a significant amount of water. The deluge flooded the downstream areas, submerging the rumored burial site and transforming the valley into a vast, murky expanse. As the waters receded, they left behind a haunting landscape of stagnant pools, dead trees, and thick mud. This area, once teeming with life, became known as the Marrow Bog. The transformation of the valley didn't go unnoticed. Birds and wildlife seemed to avoid the area, and an oppressive silence hung over the bog. Those who ventured near it spoke of a feeling of being watched, and at night, distant, mournful howls echoed through the mountains. In the summer of '75, 2 surveyors, Jake and Steve, were dispatched to assess the impact of the flooding on the land structures near the dam. Their work led them to the edges of the Marrow Bog, the area that was once the ancient burial ground. Armed with their equipment and a camera, they ventured in, unaware of the horror that awaited them. As they delved deeper into the bog, an unsettling feeling grew. They felt watched. Every rustle of leaves, every distant splash seemed amplified. Jake, trying to lighten the mood, joked about the legendary moss mummies. But Steve wasn't laughing. He pointed to a set of unusually large footprints, partially filled with murky water, leading deeper into the bog. The duo decided to follow the tracks, curiosity outweighing their apprehension. But as they progressed, the atmosphere grew denser, the fog thicker. Suddenly, they heard a guttural growl echoing through the trees. Panicking, Steve grabbed his work camera and took 2 quick photos in the direction of the sound. Without waiting to see what lurked beyond, they ran, feeling an ominous presence chasing them. The once familiar path seemed alien, as if the bog itself was trying to trap them. Gasping for breath, they finally emerged, the safety of the dam's concrete structure in sight. They didn't stop running until they reached their vehicle, driving away without looking back. The photos they took were developed, but to their dismay, they were blurred, showing only indistinct shapes amidst the fog. Though they couldn't provide concrete evidence, the terror in their eyes told a story that many in the community were hesitant to dismiss. Dr. Clara Bennett, a renowned wetlands specialist, was commissioned in '78 to assess the ecological impact of the dam on the surrounding area. With her extensive experience, the tales of moss mummies were nothing more than local folklore to her. Equipped with her tools and gear, she ventured deep into Marrow Bog. Hours turned into days as she meticulously documented the flora and fauna. But on the 3rd day, things took a sinister turn. Dam workers arriving for their shift spotted a frantic figure emerging from the bog's edge. It was Dr. Bennett, her clothes torn, face scratched, and eyes wild with terror. Behind her, 2 shadowy figures wrapped in moss and vines gave chase. Their elongated limbs moved with unnatural speed. As she stumbled and fell, the figures closed in, their intentions malevolent. But before they could reach her, a group of dam workers, alerted by her screams, rushed to her aid. The sight of the approaching group seemed to deter the moss mummies, who retreated back into the depths of the bog. Dr. Bennett was rushed to the hospital. She had suffered a severe concussion, multiple fractures, and deep gashes. When she finally awoke, she had no memory of the attack, only of her scientific expedition. The trauma had erased the most terrifying experience of her life. The dam workers, however, would never forget the day they came face to face with the legends of Marrow Bog. The tales of the moss mummies were no longer just stories to scare children. They were a chilling reality that haunted the dreams of all who knew of them. Story 3: The Luminous Lurker. In the dense, sprawling forests of Lyswood, a mystery has persisted for generations. Locals speak of strange lights that dance in the woods, illuminating the night with an eerie glow. Some claim they've seen UFOs, their ships hovering silently before disappearing into the night. Others, however, whisper of an ancient creature, a bioluminescent beast known as the Luminous Lurker. The legend of the Luminous Lurker dates back centuries. Elders in Lyswood tell tales of a creature that uses its radiant light to lure the curious and the unsuspecting. Like a moth to a flame, animals and even humans find themselves irresistibly drawn to the source of the illumination. But as they venture deeper into the woods, the light suddenly extinguishes, plunging them into darkness. It's then, in that vulnerable state, that the Luminous Lurker strikes, trapping its prey to consume them. Over the years, many have claimed to have seen the Luminous Lurker's glow. Campers recount waking up in the middle of the night to a bright light piercing through the trees, only for it to vanish moments later. Hikers tell of following a radiant path, believing it to be the reflection of the moon on a pond or river, only to find themselves lost in an unfamiliar part of the forest. One particularly chilling account comes from a local named Clara. She recalls a night when, as a child, she saw the glow from her bedroom window. Thinking it was fireflies, she ventured out, drawn to the light. As she approached, the light dimmed, but she could still see a faint glow moving between the trees. Curiosity turned to terror when she realized she was not alone. A low growl echoed through the woods, and she ran back home, never looking back. She believes it was the Luminous Lurker, and had she not noticed the faint glow, she might not have lived to tell the tale. In recent years, with the advent of technology and a surge in interest about the paranormal, many have tried to uncover the truth behind the Luminous Lurker. Amateur investigators and thrill-seekers alike have ventured into Lyswood with cameras and equipment, hoping to capture evidence of the creature. Most return with nothing but tales of malfunctioning equipment and eerie feelings. However, a few have captured faint glows moving in the distance, reigniting interest and debate about the Luminous Lurker's existence. One evening, a local hunter named Eric claimed to have captured an image of the Luminous Lurker on his trail camera. The photo, which quickly circulated online, showed a dimly lit outline of what appeared to be a creature, its body emanating a faint glow as if it had been brightly lit moments before. The silhouette, though indistinct, seemed to suggest a monstrous form with elongated limbs and a hunched back. The image was grainy and the glow was fading, making it difficult to discern any clear features. The photo sparked a frenzy online, with believers asserting it was definitive proof of the Luminous Lurker's existence, while skeptics dismissed it as a clever hoax or a mere trick of the light. Debates raged on forums and social media platforms, with some users enhancing and analyzing the image, trying to glean more details. Yet despite the fervent discussions and speculations, the image's authenticity remained inconclusive. Whether a genuine capture of the elusive Luminous Lurker or just another piece in the puzzle of Lyswood's mysteries, the trail camera photo added another layer to the legend, ensuring that the tales of the glowing beast would continue to be told for generations to come. While the truth about the Luminous Lurker remains shrouded in mystery, one thing is clear: Lyswood is a place of wonder and danger. Locals warn visitors to be wary of the lights and to never venture into the woods alone at night. For in the depths of Lyswood, something luminous lurks, waiting for its next curious victim. So, which of these haunting tales had your heart and mind racing to find the truth? Was it the chilling encounters with the Boggy Creek Monster of Fouke, Arkansas? Or maybe it was the moss-wrapped apparitions of the Marrow Bog that ensnared your imagination? Perhaps the mysterious glow of the Luminous Lurker that piqued your detective curiosity? Well, as we promised, it's time to unveil the real narrative from the webs of myth. In the dense woods of Fouke, Arkansas, there lurks the true legend that has both petrified and fascinated generations: the Boggy Creek Monster. Local tales tell of a large, hairy, man-like creature, not quite human and not quite beast, that roams the swamps and forests near Boggy Creek. Described by many as standing over 7 feet tall with glowing red eyes and an eerie howl, this creature has been the source of countless stories and alleged sightings. The Fouke monster legend was largely a local phenomenon until the 1970s, when it exploded into the national spotlight. This surge in interest was primarily due to a film titled The Legend of Boggy Creek, which was inspired by first-hand accounts and sightings. The movie portrayed the creature as a mysterious and terrifying force of nature, and became an unexpected hit, bringing cryptid enthusiasts, journalists, and skeptics flocking to the small town of Fouke. Whether the Fouke monster is a real, undiscovered creature, the result of misidentification, or simply a compelling piece of local folklore, its story has etched itself deeply into the collective memory of the community and beyond.
Brave enough to watch another video? First, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now go ahead and try your luck with one of these haunting stories, if you dare.